So in the series of learning C++ programming language, in the previous video we have discussed operator precedence and associativity. We have discussed all the type of operators and then operator precedence and associativity with 2 or 3 examples. With the help of program I have shown you everything about precedence and associativity, right? How to apply precedence and associativity and when to use these things. We have discussed this thing. Now in this video, from this video I am going to start control structures in C++. First, the basic, what is control structure, why we use it, different types of control structure, and then in detail we will discuss one by one, right? So basically there are 3 basic type of control structure: sequential, selection and iteration, right? Sequential means, as the name suggests, whatever statements you have written in the program, the statement would be executed one line by line, right, in a sequence. Whenever they appear, they execute. Like the control will start, execution from the main. If suppose I write a program to print sum of 2 numbers, right? So simply in main we take 2 numbers like int a, b, then cout. This is simple program to calculate sum of 2 numbers. Obviously you can write down that header file using namespace std. Program will start executing from the main function, then this line will be executed, int a and b, then cout, enter value of a and b, then cin, then sum would be calculated, then sum would be printed and return 0. This is simple sequence. So simply you can say with the flowchart how you can show: enter into the program, entry point is main function, one by one statement would be executed. Statement 1, statement 2, statement 3, statement 4. How many statements are there in a sequence? All the statements would be executed line by line, and at last exit from the program. This is by default control structure of a program, by default, right? Next comes to selection control structures. Now selection means you have to select something based on some condition. You have to decide something, right? You have 2 choices. You have choices, right? Suppose you have choice, you have 2 things, coffee or tea. Now you have choice. Which one you want to drink, coffee or tea? If only tea is available, you don't have any choice and you will drink tea, right? You will have tea. Now you have choice, like you have coffee, you have tea, you have juice, different type of juice. Now you have choices. Now you have to select, right, which one you want to have. So this is what selection process, or you have to decide, right? Same in program also we have choices, right? How you can implement these kind of choices with the help of a program? Using selection statements, or you can say decision making statements, right? So some statements or a block of statements would be executed based on some condition, whether the condition is true or false. Based on that thing, the statements would be executed, right? And that condition can be any expression or any constant value, but the condition should be evaluated at last either true or false. It should be evaluated in a Boolean value, right? So selection, in selection control structure, we have some, you can say, some statements, or those decision making statements you can say, or the selection statement. We have if else, and one we have else if ladder, then we have nested if, then we have switch, right? These are selection statements, right? So these comes under those selection control statements, you can say, or selection control structure, right? Third comes to iteration, right? Iteration means repeatedly we are executing something based on a condition, right? Again and again we are doing same thing, right? If you are eating something, then we take 1 bite of the chapati, right? Then we take 2nd bite. The condition is till our tummy is full, we will eat, right? Then 1 bite, then 2nd bite, 3rd bite. Same task we are repeating again and again. We are taking bite, right? Chapati with sabji. Whenever you are full, your tummy is full, you will stop. And that is the exact condition. So means iterative means repeating the same steps again and again, right? Based on some condition, right? Like suppose if you want to print value from 1 to 10, right? Then that would be, we do that thing with the help of iterative statements, and iterative statements are for loop, while loop, do while loop, loops. Simply you can say loops. Those comes under iterative statements or iterative control structure. So basically three types of control statements: sequential, that is by default. Till now whatever program we have run, I think that is based on that sequential execution of the statements, right? Second one is selection, that we will execute, that we will implement in a program with the help of these statements, right? Next is iterative, means loops, for, while and do while, right? One by one we will discuss everything. So in this video basically we will discuss about if statement. It's not like that if is simple, right? If, write down some condition and then some statement. No, we can do some tricky things with this if. Now whatever things, whatever tricky questions can be asked based on this if, simple if. Maybe it seems like it is simple one, just skip the video, but we'll be discussing some tricky questions with the help of this if statement that generally they ask in competitive exams or interview or viva. And at that time you'll be shocked, like I haven't tried this thing with if. Is it really possible with if? Or definitely you will give wrong answer. So those things, those questions, those tricky things we'll be discussing in this video. So this video is going to be really important for you guys, right? So in this video simply we'll discuss if statement, if decision making statement, right, with the help of some programs, or you can say some examples, 3 or 4 examples, right? Now see, let's take one example. You wanna go for a coffee, maybe with your girlfriend or boyfriend. Let's take a simple example, right? You wanna go for a coffee. So the condition is, obviously you will see how much money you have saving, right? So if you are 2 people, so if you have more than 1,000 rupees, you can go in Starbucks, coffee in Starbucks. Obviously that is expensive. Maybe with coffee you can take some more item also. So at least you should have 100 rupees. You will see your budget. If you don't have 1,000 rupees, then simply what you say, let's go home. That's it, right? So how you can implement this thing? Like I'm taking in main, I'm just writing. I hope you can write down these header file hash include iostream using namespace std, these 2 things by default, right? Now int money, then simply we will enter, or you can say how much you have, right? Then cin, this is what input output, how to take input using cin, how to print output using cout, right? Then money. Now we will check condition, you check your pocket, how much money you have. If money greater than 1,000, then simply cout, I am simply printing coffee in Starbucks. After that I am printing cout, let's go home, and return 0, right? So first of all, before explaining this, let me just explain this general flowchart of general working of if statement, right? The general syntax is simply you will write if, then some condition, and then here you will write statements. You can write single statements, you can write multiple statements. If you write single statement, simply you can write this thing. If you are going to write multiple statements, like 2 statements, then you have to put this curly braces. Multiple statements, you have to put these curly braces. This is what you can say block of statements. If single statement you are writing this in this if block, no need to put this curly bracket, right? By default, this one statement only would be considered as a part of if block, right? This statement would be after if statement, you can say. So simply the flowchart can be something like this. This is just, you can say, the entry, then we have some condition, if condition, right? If condition is true, then we have if statements. If, you can say if block statement, right? If condition is false, then simply condition is false, then whatever after this if block, whatever statements are there, those would be executed. So that you can say after if block statement. Right? Right? Now this, and after that you can say exit. So in this case, let's see, this is the flow chart. This is the entry main, then money, that money variable would be located some space in the memory, 4 bytes, right? Then see out, it would be printed on the output screen how much you have. Then see in money, suppose you have 500 rupees. 500 would be there. Now check the condition, money greater than 1000. Is this true? No, you have 500 rupees, money is less than 1000. So will not enter into this if block, because the condition is false. Then after if block condition, after if block, this is the statement, see out, let's go home. So this would be printed, let's go home, right? If you are entering money, suppose 1200 rupees you have, so the condition is what? True now. So we'll enter into this if block, and what would be printed? Coffee in Starbucks. Now you can take coffee in Starbucks, you can have, right? If true, the condition is true, then if statement block would be executed, means this would be printed coffee in Starbucks. After executing this, whatever is written after if block, that would also be executed. This is the flow. Then after if block. Now in this case, output would be coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. These two statements would be printed on the screen, right? So this is the working of the simple if block. Now I'm just writing 1000. So if you want to change the condition, like money is greater than and equal to 1000, then also you can have coffee. So this also you can take. This is the condition. This condition can be any expression or any constant value, but this should be evaluated at last finally in a Boolean value, either true or false. That's it, right? Now, okay, I hope the simple working is, you have understood the simple working of this if block. Now let's do some tricky things with this if. Sometimes if I put like semicolon here. Now maybe you think, sometimes they ask this type of questions. After if they put semicolon. Now maybe you will think this is an error because we cannot put semicolon after this if. You will say it is an error. No, it will not give any error. Simply program would run. Then what output you will get? See. This is what you can say termination of this if block. Means there is no use of checking the condition now. You have just terminated this if condition here. So in this case, whether the condition is true or false, this would be executed. The if block as well as the after if block would be executed. So if I'm here, just I'm writing I have 500 rupees. Maybe you think that the condition is not true, but still because you are terminating here, there is no use of checking the condition. Still it will print coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. If I write 1500 rupees, still it will print coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. So it is just terminating of this if block, right? If I want to check equality condition, if money is equal to 1000, then only we will have coffee in Starbucks. Means money is equal to, right? So sometimes maybe you write money equal to 1000 rupees. No. In programming language, this is what assignment operator. If you want to check the equality, the equality operator is double equal to. Now it is fine. If money is now 1000, money is equal to 1000, obviously condition is true, enter into this coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. If money is 1200, money equal to 1000, no, condition is not true. So not enter into this block, simply print let's go home, right? If you write this thing, money equal to 1000, sometimes they ask this type of question also. So it is what simply assignment operator. Suppose money I am entering 12,000. Means you will think that this condition is not true because money is 12,000. So simply print let's go home. No, it is not equality check condition. Simply it will assign 1000 to this money. Assignment operator is assign right hand side value to left hand side. So now the money becomes here 1000. So this is what money is 1000. So simply other than 0, whatever you write, whatever is there in this within this bracket of this if, that would be considered as true. So this is true. It will print coffee in Starbucks. Let's go home. So please be careful while you use equal to and double equal to. This is assignment operator. This is equality check. Right? I hope you got this thing. Now, if I want to print here in if block, see out coffee in Starbucks and it was good. These two lines, I want that these two lines should be a part of this if block. Money is greater than equal to 1000. So, if you don't put these curly bracket, then what will happen? I am not putting, suppose I am putting curly bracket first. These two lines in these curly brackets. So now money is 1000. Condition true, we will enter into this if block. What would be printed? Coffee in Starbucks. It was good. Let's go home. Right? If I have 100 rupees, the condition is not true. Will not enter this, control will not enter into this if block, and what would be printed? Whatever is there after if block, let's go home, would be printed only. Right? If you don't put these brackets, right? Now what would happen? If 100, money is 100, condition is not true, means you think that output will be let's go home. But no, what would be the output? It was good, let's go home. Why so? Because you are not putting any curly bracket here. So by default, only after this if, only one statement would be considered as a part of this if block. Only one statement. After this one statement, whatever statements are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, that would be considered as part of after if block. That is why condition is not true, control will not enter into this if block, means coffee in Starbucks would not be printed. After if block, these two would be now the part of after if. It was good, let's go home would be printed. So that's why I was saying, if in this if block, if you want that multiple statements should be executed after this condition is true, then you should put all these conditions into blocks, into these braces. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 statements, any number of statements you can. If only one statement is there, then you can skip these curly brackets, right? I hope now everything about this if is clear to you guys. And see, if simply you write money, that is also fine. It's not like that you have to put condition, that is also fine. But in this case, if you will enter money 100, so other than 0, whatever is there here, that would be considered as true. So this statement is true. So if block statement would be executed, then after if. If I enter money 0, now 0, at this time it is false only, right? So now it will not enter into this if block, it will simply print let's go home. So this condition can be any constant value. If I write any constant like 100, so always it would be true. 100 is always true. There is no chance of any false statement here or false condition here. So any constant thing you can write, any expression you can write, but that should be evaluated ultimately into a Boolean value, either true or false. Then only this if will work, right? I hope now the working of this if is clear to you. Let's see this thing with the help of practical, with the help of a program. Okay, so this is the program. See, before this program till now we have written program with simply they were following that sequential control structure, right? No if else, nothing, simply one by one, line by line program would be executed and in a sequence and we'll get the output, right? Now we are taking a variable int money, how much you have seen money, and we are checking the condition if money greater than equal to 1000. Then coffee in Starbucks and just remove this line. Let's go home, right? Now let me just run this simple one first. See, it will ask how much you have. I'm just entering 1200. So coffee in Starbucks and let's go home. Again, if I run this and we have only 400 rupees, then let's go home. No coffee in Starbucks this time, right? If now see, let me just terminate this line with a semicolon. Now what output you will get? How much you have? I have 1900. Let's just run this. Coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. Okay, fine. Let me just enter now. I have 200 only. This time condition would be false, but still it will print coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. Same output. Why so? Because you have just terminated this if block. Means there is no use of checking the condition here, right? So this is the thing. Now if I write like equal to 1000, equality check condition, equal to, right? Let me just run this. And how much you have? 200. Coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. Why so? Because we haven't removed the semicolon. Let me just remove the semicolon. Let's just run this again. See how much you have now. I have 200. Let's go home, right? Let's run again. How much you have? 1000. Coffee in Starbucks, let's go home, right? Because this time condition is true. If simply rather than double equal to, if simply I write equal to, but this is assignment operator this time, right? So let's run this program again. 200, coffee in Starbucks, let's go home, right? Again, 1200, coffee in Starbucks, let's go home, same output. Again, 1000, coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. Because we are just entering, see, suppose I'm just entering 0, I have 0 money. Still coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. Why so? Because you are just putting assignment operator here. It will simply assign the value 1000 to money, and that would be obviously all the time true. Other than 0, everything, every other value would be true. So this you need to take care. Equality check means double equal to. Now here same condition you can write down like relational operator, you can use logical operator, logical AND if you want to combine two statements, right? If you want to find out like maximum of two numbers, A greater than equal to B and A greater than equal to C, maximum is A, this kind of thing. So you can combine logical AND, logical OR, these kind of statements, logical NOT also, right? Relational operators, multiple statements, multiple conditions you can write down this if. It's not like that you can check only one condition, right? Like money, I am writing money greater than equal to 1000, right? And one more variable I am taking, age greater than 15. One more variable age we are taking, and simply cout enter age, right? We are just entering age, that's it, right? So now, yeah, we know there is no age bar when you go for a coffee, it's somewhere else, but let's take simple example. I'm just combining two conditions, money greater than equal to 1000 and age should be greater than 15, then only you can have coffee in Starbucks, otherwise let's go home. Now let's just run this. First it will ask how much you have, money, yeah, money I have 1200. Then it will ask age, suppose you are entering age is 10, let's go home, no coffee in Starbucks. Logical AND means both the conditions should be true, then only it will be evaluated as true, right? Let's run this again. How much you have? 1200, age 20. Now you can have coffee in Starbucks, let's go home. So simply I just want to, tell you this thing. You can combine 2, 3, 4 conditions in this if also. Logical AND, logical OR operator you can write down. So you can try out these combinations also, right? I hope that's it for this video now. So if you have any doubt in this if block, you can ask me in comment section, or if you try out different things with this if block. It's not like that only one if you can write down in one program. No, multiple if you can write. If this one more if you can write here, if condition 2, 3, 4, any number of condition you can write, right? But rather than writing 2, 3, 4, 5, these type of ifs, if we use if else, that is good, right? Like something like this, if greater than 1000 rupees you have coffee in Starbucks, otherwise you can have coffee in CCD, that is also fine. So we always have some otherwise option, alternate option. So that how you can implement in program using if else statement. So that thing we'll discuss in next video. Now, see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye. Take care.